Imagine this: a sun-drenched Californian skate park, the usual soundtrack of urethane wheels clattering over concrete, the scrape of ollies, the whoops of riders landing tricks, and the murmur of onlookers. But then, a new, distinct sound joins the symphony, a low, rhythmic rumble, accompanied by a wave of delighted gasps and incredulous laughter. Heads snap around. Conversations halt. Rolling into view, with an air of nonchalant mastery that hilariously belies his stout, low-slung frame, is Buster, a French Bulldog, effortlessly carving a line on his custom-sized skateboard. He's not just wobbling. He's cruising, a tiny, four-legged Zen master on wheels. His jolly face set in an expression of serene concentration, occasionally broken by a happy pant. This, right here, is the tiny, furry spark that would ignite a wildfire of internet fame and utterly transform the life of his devoted owner, Emily. Before Buster became an internet sensation, Emily Parker was living a life familiar to many. She resided in a pleasant, if unremarkable, suburban neighborhood in a mid-sized town somewhere in the vast, sprawling landscape of America. Let's call it Oakwood. Oakwood was the kind of place with tree-lined streets, a decent public library, a couple of grocery stores, and a main street that boasted a beloved diner and an independent bookstore. Emily worked as a part-time administrative assistant at a local dental practice, Dr. Henderson's Family Dentistry. The work was steady, if unexciting. It paid the bills, covered the rent on her modest two-bedroom apartment, and allowed for Buster's premium kibble and occasional squeaky toy. Emily was in her late 20s, kind-hearted, a little introverted, and possessed a quiet creativity that found its outlet in baking elaborate cookies and tending to a small balcony garden overflowing with herbs and cherry tomatoes. Buster, her brindle French Bulldog, was her constant companion, her shadow, her furry confidant. She'd adopted him from a local rescue 2 years prior. A little ball of nervous energy and snorts who quickly blossomed under her care into the charming, slightly stubborn, and endlessly affectionate dog he was now. Their days followed a comfortable rhythm. Morning walks in the nearby park, Emily's shift at the dental office, Buster napping in his sunbeam-drenched bed, evening cuddles on the sofa, while Emily binged the latest streaming sensation or scrolled through social media. Life was fine, predictable, safe. The idea, like many modern epiphanies, struck Emily late one Tuesday night. She was idly scrolling through TikTok, the hypnotic stream of dance challenges, comedic skits, and life hacks washing over her. Then, a video popped up, a sleek border collie in Australia, expertly maneuvering a skateboard down a gentle slope, its owner jogging alongside, cheering. Emily chuckled. "Look, Buster," she said, holding the phone out to the bulldog, snoring softly beside her. Buster cracked an eye open, snorted dismissively, and went back to sleep. But the image lingered. A dog on a skateboard. It was undeniably cute, impressive even. The comments under the video were a cascade of heart emojis and exclamations of "amazing" and "my dog would never." Emily found herself searching for more. Bulldogs on skateboards, pugs on scooters, even a cat tentatively pawing at a mini longboard. "You think you could do that, buddy?" she mused to Buster the next morning, scratching behind his velvety ears. Buster responded by trying to lick the remnants of her breakfast cereal from the bowl. "Probably not," she concluded. French Bulldogs, with their top-heavy build and short legs, weren't exactly prime candidates for extreme sports. Yet, the seed was planted. Oakwood had a small, slightly dilapidated skate park near the community center, mostly frequented by teenagers. Emily sometimes walked Buster past it, always a little intimidated by the flying boards and the confident swagger of the kids. But the image of that border collie, so joyful and free, kept replaying in her mind. A few days later, browsing a yard sale in her neighborhood, Emily spotted it, a child-sized skateboard, bright blue with garish flame decals, probably from the early 2000s. It was scuffed and a little wobbly, but the wheels still turned. $5. Why not? She thought, a mischievous glint in her eye. It could be a funny prop at the very least. Back home, she presented the board to Buster. He He sniffed it suspiciously, circled it twice, then attempted to chew on one of the wheels. Emily laughed. Okay, maybe not your first instinct, big guy. Her initial attempts to introduce Buster to the board were comical. She'd place him on it, and he'd immediately hop off, looking bewildered. She tried luring him with his favorite treats, tiny pieces of cooked chicken. He'd snatch the chicken and ignore the board. She remembered the videos she'd watched. It was all about patience, positive reinforcement, and making it fun. So, she started small. She placed the board in the living room, letting Buster get used to its presence. She put his food bowl near it, then on it, when it was stationary, of course. Slowly, very slowly, he stopped seeing it as an alien invader and more as just another piece of furniture. The breakthrough came with a squeaky tennis ball. Buster loved his squeaky tennis ball more than almost anything. One afternoon, Emily gently placed Buster on the board, holding it steady, and rolled the ball a few feet away. Buster, focused intently on the ball, forgot his aversion to the wobbly platform beneath him. He leaned forward, and the board ever so slightly moved. He froze, surprised. Emily praised him lavishly. Good boy, Buster. You moved it. They practiced like this for weeks in the privacy of their apartment. Tiny increments. Emily would place him on the board, give it the gentlest of nudges, and reward him with praise and a tiny piece of chicken when he stayed on, even for a second. It was a slow, painstaking process. There were days Emily felt ridiculous trying to teach a bulldog to skateboard. Her friends, when she tentatively mentioned it, mostly chuckled and changed the subject. But Emily was persistent, and Buster, for all his bulldog stubbornness, was also surprisingly adaptable when treats and adoration were involved. He began to associate the board with positive experiences. Soon, he would stay on for longer periods, his little legs braced, his brow furrowed in concentration. Emily then moved the operation to their small, enclosed backyard patio. Here, there was a very slight, almost imperceptible slope. She placed Buster at the top, give a tiny push, and he'd roll a foot or two. The first time he did it without her immediately steadying him, staying balanced for a whole 3 seconds, Emily cheered so loudly she startled the neighbor's cat. The real turning point was when Buster, seemingly by accident, pushed off with one of his hind legs. He'd been trying to reach a treat Emily held just out of reach, and in his eagerness, one little leg scraped the ground, propelling the board forward a tiny bit more than usual. His ears perked up. He seemed to realize, in his doggy way, that he had made it move. From then on, progress accelerated. Emily bought him a proper, new, smaller skateboard, one designed for kids but sturdy. She customized it with extra grip tape. Buster started to experiment with shifting his weight, learning to steer, albeit crudely. He even started to look like he was enjoying it. There was a certain swagger in his waddle as he approached the board, a happy snort when he successfully rolled a few feet. One sunny Saturday morning, Emily decided it was time for a public debut, or at least a trial run in a less confined space. She took Buster and his board to a quiet, paved pathway in the local park. A few early morning joggers and dog walkers were out. Emily set Buster on his board. He sniffed the air, looked around, then with a determined little push of his hind leg, he was off. He rolled a good 10 feet, a little wobbly but upright, before gracefully stepping off. A woman walking a poodle stopped, her jaw agape. Did your dog just skateboard? Emily, blushing slightly, grinned. He's learning. The woman was enchanted. She asked if she could take a photo. Others started to notice. A small crowd gathered, cooing and marveling. Buster, reveling in the attention, performed a few more short rolls, his tail, or rather, his little nubbin, wagging furiously. That afternoon, emboldened, Emily filmed a short, 15-second video on her phone. It wasn't anything fancy, just Buster in their backyard, confidently rolling from one end of the patio to the other, looking utterly pleased with himself. She uploaded it to TikTok with a simple caption, Buster's new hobby, #BulldogOnAboard, #FrenchieSkater, #dogtricks. She didn't expect much, maybe a few likes from her handful of followers. She went about her day, made dinner, watched a movie. Before bed, she checked her phone. Her jaw dropped. The video had 1,000 views. Then 5,000. Comments were flooding in. OMG, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. That bulldog has more skills than I do. We need more Buster content. By the next morning, it had 50,000 views. By the end of the day, it was rocketing past 500,000. It had been shared by several large meme accounts and animal lover pages on Instagram and Facebook. Her phone was buzzing nonstop with notifications. Dr. Henderson even mentioned it at work on Monday. "Emily," he said, peering over his glasses, "my granddaughter showed me a video of a skateboarding bulldog. Said it was going viral. That wouldn't happen to be your Buster, would it?" Emily, overwhelmed and slightly dazed, admitted it was. The next few weeks were a blur. Encouraged by the explosive reaction, Emily started posting more regularly. Short clips of Buster practicing, Buster learning to turn, which involve a lot of comedic, wide arcs, Buster just looking cute on his board. She started a dedicated Instagram account for him, at Buster Skates. The followers poured in 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. People couldn't get enough of the little bulldog with the big talent. She upgraded her filming equipment from her phone to a decent secondhand DSLR camera. She learned basic video editing. She started taking Buster to the actual Oakwood skate park during quieter weekday mornings. At first, the teenage skaters were a mix of amused and skeptical. But when they saw Buster confidently roll down a gentle ramp, or even attempt a very low ollie by essentially hopping while on the board, respect dawned. Soon, Buster was a local celebrity, the unofficial mascot of the Oakwood skate scene. The kids would cheer him on, offer tips, which Emily politely translated into dog-friendly encouragement, and clear a path when he was ready to roll. The first brand deal came as a complete surprise. A small artisanal pet treat company based in Oregon, Positive Bites, reached out. They loved Buster's videos and offered to send him free treats in exchange for a few posts featuring their product. Emily was thrilled. Free, high-quality treats for Buster, and a feeling that this crazy adventure was becoming something more. Then came a bigger fish, Shred Pup Skateboards, a company specializing in gear for smaller riders and, as it turned out, adventurous pets. They offered to design a custom board for Buster, perfectly sized and weighted for his bulldog physique, and a modest payment for a series of sponsored posts. Emily, after carefully reading the contract and consulting a friend with some marketing experience, agreed. The Buster board was a masterpiece, wider, lower to the ground, with specially designed wheels for a smoother ride. Buster took to it immediately. The videos featuring the new board were slicker, more professional. Emily started a YouTube channel, posting longer compilations of Buster's best rides, his learning process, and day-in-the-life vlogs. The YouTube ad revenue started trickling in, then flowing. It wasn't millions, not at first, but it was more than Emily earned from her part-time job at the dental office. She found herself spending her evenings editing videos, responding to comments, planning new content, and researching copyright-free music. Her little balcony garden became slightly neglected. Her cookie baking dwindled. The decision to quit her job at Dr. Henderson's wasn't taken lightly. It felt like leaping off a cliff, but the numbers were undeniable. Buster's online presence was now generating a steady, growing income. Sponsorship offers were becoming more frequent and more lucrative. Pet accessory brands, a company that made dog-friendly action cameras, even a local car dealership that wanted Buster to test drive, i.e., sit in the passenger seat of their new family SUV. "You're really going to do this?" her mother had asked, a mixture of pride and concern in her voice during one of their weekly calls. "Become a full-time dog skateboard video person?" Emily laughed. "When you put it like that, Mom, it sounds ridiculous. But yes, Buster and I are going to do this." Life changed, subtly at first, then dramatically. Emily moved them out of the small apartment in Oakwood and rented a house with a larger, fenced-in yard and a sunnier, more vibrant town closer to the coast. A place with a thriving skate culture and beautiful beachfront paths perfect for filming. Let's call it Ocean View Heights. Their new house had a dedicated office space for Emily, which she filled with editing equipment, whiteboards for content ideas, and of course, a comfortable dog bed for Buster, her star employee. She hired a part-time assistant, a college student named Chloe, to help manage Buster's social media, schedule posts, and sort through the mountains of fan mail and business inquiries. Fan mail. People sent Buster little knitted sweaters, chew toys, and heartfelt letters about how his videos brightened their day or inspired them to try something new. Some even sent sketches and paintings of him on his board. There are challenges, of course. The internet, for all its wonders, could also be a fickle and sometimes harsh place. There were the inevitable negative comments. That dog doesn't look happy, or she's exploiting her pet. Emily learned to develop a thicker skin, but she also made a conscious effort to address genuine concerns. She posted videos of Buster's vet checkups. He was in perfect health, showed him enthusiastically running for his board, and emphasized that their sessions were always short, fun, and guided by Buster's willingness. If Buster wasn't in the mood, they didn't film. His well-being was always, unequivocally, her top priority. There was also the pressure to constantly create, to keep the algorithms happy, to keep the audience engaged. Some days, Emily felt more like a content machine than a dog owner. But then Buster would do something uniquely hilarious or heartwarming, like attempting to share his skateboard with a bewildered squirrel or falling asleep on his board mid-roll, and Emily's passion would be reignited. She learned about branding, about analytics, about negotiating contracts. She attended online workshops for digital creators. She even started giving Buster acting cues. Look left, Buster. Now look heroic, which he mostly ignored, but occasionally accidentally nailed. Their biggest break came when a national morning talk show, Good Morning America, invited them for a segment. Emily and Buster flew to New York, Buster, of course, in a comfortable carrier in the cabin, charming every flight attendant. On live television, in front of millions, Buster confidently rolled across the studio floor, did a little spin, a trick they'd been working on, and then proceeded to try and lick the host's microphone. The nation fell in love. After that, things exploded. Buster became a genuine celebrity. His YouTube channel hit 1 million subscribers, then 2. His Instagram followers swelled into the millions. They did a limited edition merchandise line, t-shirts, hats, even mini Buster on a Skateboard plushies, which sold out in days. The income was now far beyond anything Emily could have ever imagined working at the dental practice. She invested wisely, set up a college fund for her niece, and donated a significant portion to animal rescue organizations, particularly those specializing in bulldogs. She bought a small, charming bungalow in Ocean View Heights, not far from the beach, with a custom-built mini skate ramp for Buster in the backyard. Her life was unrecognizable from what it had been just a few years prior in Oakwood. She was a businesswoman, a content creator, a manager, and a dog mom to a global superstar. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of brand collaborations, media appearances, and content creation schedules, the core of it all remained unchanged. The simple, pure bond between a woman and her dog. The quiet moments were still her favorite. Buster snorting contentedly in his sleep at the foot of her bed. The feel of his warm, heavy head in her lap as she edited videos late into the night. The goofy grin on his face after a successful skate session, covered in slobber and glory. Sometimes, as she watched Buster effortlessly glide down a palm-lined boardwalk, the Pacific Ocean sparkling in the background, a crowd of smiling onlookers filming on their phones, Emily would shake her head in disbelief. It all started with a $5 flame-decaled skateboard from yard sale and a bulldog who, against all odds, found his calling on 4 wheels. Buster never truly understood the concept of fame or fortune. For him, skateboarding was fun. It got him treats. It got him attention and ear scratches from smiling strangers. It meant exciting adventures with his favorite human. And for Emily, Buster's unexpected talent had not only transformed her financial circumstances beyond her wildest dreams, but it also unlocked a part of herself she never knew existed. A confident, creative, and enterprising woman, capable of navigating the unpredictable currents of the digital age. Their journey was a testament to the surprising paths life can take, the extraordinary potential hidden in ordinary creatures, An incredible, life-altering joy that can come from simply saying yes to a silly idea, a $5 skateboard, and the boundless love for a slobbery, snorting, skateboarding French Bulldog named Buster. He wasn't just a dog on a skateboard. He was a furry little engine of happiness, rolling his way into the hearts of millions and leading his once ordinary owner on the ride of her life. And as the sun set over Ocean View Heights, casting long shadows across Buster's backyard ramp, Emily knew, with a certainty that warmed her from the inside out, that this was only the beginning of their incredible adventure. The world always needed more Buster.